So I'll just give you a very brief intro. Yeah, we run a startup visa program, and many countries do, and they are fairly quite simple and similar. So ours is, yes, just as simple as that. You are a founder from a non-EU country, you want to come to EU, so here's the residence permit. Well, we call it visa, but it's a residence permit, right? We have to understand that. Given for 3 years to founders, and the main criteria is to have an idea. We don't require any MVPs, any products yet, because we expect you to come and actually start doing something only then, right? So this is the visa. And then quite a unique thing actually about our country is a startup law. To my knowledge, at this point, we are the only country which has a very specific law passed in the country to protect startup interests. Rumors have it was the fastest law ever to be approved in Latvia. Can't confirm that, don't quote me on that, but the rumors are like that. So it says, the law says basically, okay, you're an early stage startup, you should, get some support from the government, and appreciating that in the early stage, a startup does not necessarily have any big assets or, equipment, offices. It's all about the team, that's what we believe. And so we cut the taxes for the employees, it's a very comfortable regime, a tax regime. And also we co-finance talent, meaning to say you're a startup, imagine today you need a rock star developer, coder, you name it. So we give back 45% of that, of the expense of the employee back to the startup. I mean wages, right? And then at the moment there is 15 million euro available in acceleration funds, and again it's being run by those 3 acceleration programs. Diāna represents one of them, so she will tell about it later. So it's really for early stage. This money will be complemented soon with soon means next year. I mean, I have to make it clear. Next year, 60 million for growth. So if we look at 15, it's normally 5-digit investments plus mentoring programs. 60 million, we're talking about 6-digit investments already. And I believe that 2 funds have been already chosen to, it's in the process, they're drafting the contracts. Drafting the contracts with the government, it's quite an art, it takes some time, but yeah, getting there. And then, then there are some other very straightforward things offered to startups, such as business incubators. We run 15 across the whole country, and country is so small, 15, so it pretty much covers the whole area. And we also run some innovation vouchers. Those are really straightforward. It's either 5,000 type of grant, 5,000 euro type of grant for startups who want to say certify their product or get a license or some kind of industrial design being tested or whatever, actually, like innovate, what we call innovate, or a 25,000 euro also like a type of a grant, although it's not a grant exactly. So yeah, also. And this is my favorite program, perhaps, because we designed it just recently, and we see a lot of startups using it. It's support to explore the globe. It sounds so poetic, right? But what it means, in essence, we realize that, okay, we are such a small country, startups have to be and think global from day zero, and we have to help them go and explore their future markets. So we give small grants. This year, our country is celebrating 100-year anniversary, so we gave it to 100 startups, about 4,000 euro grant to go to different events, like in 2 weeks there will be a web summit, expensive one, Slash, again, everything costs money, right? So we are trying to get our startups out there, to meet their investors, to meet their business partners, things like that. And also, in line with this, we opened recently a representation office in Silicon Valley, just to respond to this big dream of startups to go there, to raise big money and live happily ever after. Well, we had to, right? And nevertheless, we are exploring other geographies, Asia, Africa, and South America, very interesting. So we are building bridges and partnerships with there. So that if tomorrow a startup comes to me and says, okay, Olga, I want to go to Brazil, and my surname actually is Brazilian, you know, that complicated surname, so yeah, it's like I inherit a very good husband, you know, from Brazil. So if a startup asks me, do you want to go to Brazil, can I go to Brazil? I'll be like, give me a corridor to go there. I want to be in position to say, okay, you know what, given your stage of readiness, given your product and so on, you have to contact this and this person. You know, it helps to know who you can contact. Yes, we also support science a lot, so deep tech is, I mean, it's government, we love science. We prefer science than any fintech on any given day, but then, you know, fintechs is of course, we have them like much more than, yeah, I will not be going into details actually, I explained already the whole package. If you have any questions like at the moment or later, just catch me and yeah. Should I perhaps give you a microphone? So everybody appreciates hearing the question. Yeah, it's on.
Actually, a question to you, or maybe to Diāna. How many startups do you know you have from Ukraine, Ukrainian origin, or Ukrainian people who founded or who are sort of main labor force in the startups? Is there any statistics like that?
Well, there's definitely interest from Ukraine, and they seriously consider Latvia as a place where to start. From my experience, I see some mixed teams, like for instance, one founder would be from Latvia, one from Ukraine. It works the same way with Belarus. I see a lot of mixed teams, yeah. And then they kind of are based out of two homes, here in Ukraine and then in Latvia. And then yes, Diāna will be, I guess, mentioning a very particular case, a Ukrainian startup which they accepted in their program.
I would just be interested, you know, is there any statistics or any evidence how difficult did they find it, like to start their business there, you know, like this?
Yeah, this is something we are collecting because, yeah, we strive to improve our services and our welcome pack. We are not particularly asking, of course, the Ukrainian founders, right? We are asking all the foreign founders. And yeah, there are many things to improve, like plenty. There's still a long way for us to go. Okay, then I'll be just, you know, passing the floor to Diāna Lāce.
Let's give a big round of applause to the most. Thanks. Yeah, my presentation is on one of the screens. Yeah, no, this one's shared. Привет. Hey guys. So as previously mentioned, I am Diāna, and I do not come from the government. Yet. But where I do come from is from startups and from venture capital. I used to work for a startup, I used to do startups, failed miserably, switched to the other side of the table. But I don't need to tell you that, right? How many startup founders do we have in the room? Yes, that's really good. Because what I'm going to tell you is like specifically tailored to startup founders. If you're not a founder, you'll still, I hope, find some graphics interesting.
Or not.
Or not. If at any point there's any question or you don't, sort of if I speak too fast, too slow, too boring, raise your hand and please interrupt. Alright? So, before we dive into this, my talk is going to be really tactical, meaning like, I'm going to tell... Okay, so yeah, I'm going to cover three main areas, so to say. So it's like, how to do fundraising in Central and Eastern Europe, because all of us are in Central and Eastern Europe, we can't really neglect that, it's where we are. Then I'm going to cover a very important, it's sort of a lecture part of my talk, how to talk to investors. So we have a lot of experience of founders going to the investors, how to build investor pipelines. Very tactical advice for you guys, how you can raise your next round successfully. And lastly, I'll take the last 5 to 10 minutes to just a little bit overkill it and tell a bit about why the hell a venture capital firm is called Overkill and why are we here. So without further ado, we'll start with the CE. So we did a couple of numbers. So I mean, the market is booming. Across the last year, there were 1.32 billion euros raised in terms of venture capital funding and ICO, which is nowhere near by London for European standards, which is like a benchmark. But when we adjust that number to actually the life expenses, right? That number actually goes on way better because, like in London, it costs like 3 times more to run a startup than it does in CEE, and actually, so effectively, it's actually not, the difference is not that big. So it only outlines that the startup ecosystem here is booming. Somebody's calling someone. Sorry. No, that's all right. I'm kidding. I'm fine with that. So with that, we also see that the Central and Eastern European ecosystem delivers more than it was expected before. Meaning, we have so much money out there. It's like it's the best time to be a startup founder. Man, I wish I would be in your shoes. Like, see, like in Baltics alone, it's like 125 million in venture capital. In Poland, it's like ridiculous. It's 600 million euros. You can just go and ask for money and get it, supposedly. And across Central and Eastern Europe, it's more than 1 billion. So, like for you guys, you should be like sitting on the edge of the chair and like, yeah, where's my money? Where's my cash? So I'm going to tell you a bit about how to get that cash because it's out there. So, but again, about the CEE, so there, like the ecosystem is good because it's like first we have the money now. We also have a couple of successful exits, thanks Estonia, doing the job for all of us. We have a lot of ecosystem and government support. I think Olga being here, and I arguably can say that this is the most agile government worker you could ever have seen. Like this is the speed they improve on things. It's just awesome. And you can see that like small countries are like startups. You can also run the government as a startup. So what do I know? And yeah, so with this lyrical sort of an introduction, I would love to just jump into how do you actually talk to investors? What is the, so we know there's like plenty of money out there. So let's dive into this. How do we talk to them? Before that, we need to understand who we should talk to. So most of the guys here, you're a pre-seed, seed stage, right? Like not. In US, I would say yes, but like I know here in Central and Eastern Europe, nobody like reacts. So which stage? Okay, I hear you nodding. Very nice. Awesome. So in the pre-seed, seed stage investments, there are 2 main investors, like usually. So it's like venture capital funds and it's angels. I will not ask you to tell me the difference because the difference is over there. But I think it's very important to understand what is the difference between a business angel who gives away their own free money and a venture capital firm, which is essentially 2 different things actually. So when we come to a venture capital firm, so essential difference is that the money is not from their pocket. For business angel, it's from their pocket, obviously. And that's what their objective is. Usually for VCs, it's pure returns. And for angels, it's more about like experience / returns / building a portfolio / sharing the knowledge / etc. So knowing this objective, you can also target the investors more sort of as on the head. When it comes to decision making, so VCs have a process of decision making actually. So they do partner meetings and investment committees, and this is a long time process. But in terms of angels, it's actually just like a checkbox. So I know a founder who recently closed an angel deal in a day. He met an angel for breakfast, sat there for 6 hours, and then in the evening he had like, I don't know, 20 grand in his bank account. Nothing like that will ever happen in the VC world. You'll have breakfast after lunch, after dinner, after another breakfast and second coffee, and then they will maybe say that they like you. It's a very difficult process because they have a lot of procedures to go. So that leaves us to the time scale. So decision-making process for venture capitalists, it's in months. Where in angels, it's actually in weeks. So bear that in mind. And they also have like a defined investment strategy. So I hope it's clear. So I'm going to cover only the sort of the venture capital part of it because it's I would say it's more of an art of doing it right. Where in angels, it's a lot of personal connections and relationships actually.